Hey everyone, Laura Cerrano here from Feng Shui Manhattan. Thank you for joining me. Today is day 6 of the 27-day Feng Shui Manhattan Transformational Challenge. For today's topic, I wanted to focus on mirrors. A few things to keep in mind before discussing where to place the mirror is how are they perceived in the world of Feng Shui? 4 main categories to keep in mind. They can expand energy, they can push energy away, they can double whatever they see, and they can have the potential to record history. Now, that insight or observation is pretty interesting because on a daily basis, depending on where that mirror is positioned throughout the home, it's constantly seeing what's going on. So that seeing is not just in the physical, it can also be in the mental discussion, energy, frequency, the thoughts, they do resonate out. It can also be in your emotional feelings that also resonates out from your body. And so that permeates into everything, the walls, the floor, and then of course we have the mirror. So mirrors in feng shui can be extremely beneficial and powerful, yet you do want to be mindful of how you position them, where they're going to be placed, and that placement and decision making there are a lot of variables essentially. It can either be done through intuitive decision making, of course, based on the intention of why you even need the mirror in the first place. Is it more for beauty? Is it for function? Is it to purposely enhance or double something that it's reflecting to offer assistance in that manifestation or motivation? So again, there are a lot of variables, but in essence, the key concept here to take into consideration is the why, and then the where, and then does it even make sense for hanging it up? So there still needs to be a practical assessment here. It's not just, I read a book, I watched a video, they said, put a mirror in the wealth corner and activation will happen. Still be practical with your decision making. But in essence, since I brought up the concept of wealth, one of the main areas that people tend to place a mirror that tends to be the safest go-to just to get yourself started is actually in the wealth gua or life section. And the reason for this is the mirror can be seen as two primary elements. They kind of go back and forth. They can either be seen as water element or they can be seen as metal element. Now, since the mirror would be purposely placed within the wealth gua, the main element in the wealth gua is wood element. And the element that supports or nurtures the growth of wood is water element. So that's one of the main reasons why a mirror is usually encouraged in the wealth area. Now, another perspective to that is depending on what the functionality of the room is that's located in the wealth area. Let's say hypothetically it's an office, which is perfect. Then your main target of activity is right to do work in the office, to be focused, or whatever your job demands or commands of you to accomplish. So whatever that mirror sees within the office, it has the potential to enhance motivation, to enhance wealth. And wealth, again, will be defined depending on your personal interpretation. Is wealth more income? Is wealth more freedom of time? Is wealth related to saving up money so you can travel or pursue other creative endeavors, XYZ? So these are just some base guidelines, but just giving you another insight into the world of how mirrors can be utilized, and it becomes a very personalized discussion depending on where the mirror is going to be placed, the function of the room. And now moving on to the anatomy of the mirror, there are a few key principles to keep in mind with that as well. The first is pay attention to the size of the mirror. If the mirror is super tiny and it's only reflecting your neck and your head, this essentially is called cutting your aura. And that's not ideal. It's not offering a fair reflection. If that mirror is big enough where it can at least capture your chest, your head, and your shoulders, this is called capturing your aura. So that's a lot better. So if you can, try to avoid any mirrors with a small diameter or shape, and also any mirrors that have reflections that are fractured or cut up. That's not ideal. You always want something that's whole and complete, and that in itself is a powerful metaphor. Even pay attention to the tiniest details of the mirror frame. That's important too. Just like we spoke about with the plant leaves and those shapes, same thing with mirror frame shapes. Avoid things that are jagged, pointy, prickly looking, and instead try to opt in for either more smooth, curved, or even just base geometric mirror frame shapes. Those are going to be much better. And again, these are just some base takeaways to help you begin seeing mirrors, seeing how you use them, the placement within your home a little bit differently, and being more consciously connected to this space. All right, I hope you guys enjoy, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.